Well, and it also seems like, and this was like a question that I had, uh, that there's so much that's happening in the limited Muslim dialogues about sex, in particular, in the context of marriage, and as well as just different tactics that are get either can be verbal or even just physical, that in order to suppress the female libido. It just kind of makes you wonder, are Muslim men in general, but particularly Muslim men, because when you look at the texts that are out there, when you hear the talks that are out there, when you see what's going on between intimate partners in Muslim cultures, it just seems like there's this fear of the female libido that exists among Muslim men. Has that been your experience? Have you found that to be the case?
Yeah, most definitely.
You heard it all live. They
And
are
you-
afraid.
no, they are afraid. No, it's true. It's true. And I'll admit that as a man that had these fears before, I'll be honest. But even as a man, it takes, whether it's a sense of maturity or some self-reflection, to admit that you have these insecurities or these fears about, because every man, we've got this bravado that we can satisfy a woman. And if you're not able to do it, or even a thought comes into your mind, it's like affecting your manhood. And a lot of men aren't ready to face this. And especially within the context of marriage, because this is something that the idea that you can't satisfy a woman, obviously we've got this idea we need to be able to protect our women, both financially and also physically, but also sexually. That's something that a lot of men, we hold in high regard, that we can do this. But unfortunately, none of us aren't having conversations with women, whether it's our wives or even women in general, to understand how are we able to satisfy her? Because even that understanding of satisfying a woman is generally just, you have to be, excuse my language, but strong, hard, fast, and quick. And again, that's the male understanding. For a man to be, highly aroused and to enjoy himself in terms of sexual pleasure, that works. But whereas with a woman, obviously women are different, but she might require a more soft, gentle approach, and women are subtle. And also the issue of like mental foreplay, that's something which a lot of men aren't willing to engage in, because for us it doesn't stimulate us. Like to engage, to emotionally, to stimulate her mind, to have sweet talks and things like that. This is something which the Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, told us that you should do. That don't go to your woman like a camel goes to quenches first, and then after it's done, just sleeps. Or when you're going to engage with your wife, send messages beforehand. And when they asked him what is the messages that you send beforehand, he said sweet kisses and kind words. Now again, this is about understanding the foreplay and how foreplay is so important before you actually go into penetration. But again, with a lot of men, we're going to go straight into penetration. Now coming to how the different tactics that men used in history, unfortunately, even Muslim men, to suppress female libido. One, which I'm sure many of us know about, is female genital mutilation. And unfortunately, what you found, because I lived in Egypt for 3.5 years, and you found it's quite prevalent, unfortunately, in Egypt. And some Muslim men, even religious, learned Muslims, would use female circumcision, because there's some hadiths which mentions female circumcision, which is similar to, you can say, to the practice of, I think it's called clito, get the pronunciation. Yes, thank you very much. In the Western world, and they use this to justify female genital mutilation, or they'll try and use some logic to say that we need to, because we fear that a woman might, run wild, we need to cut off her clitoris, we need to remove her clitoris, because we're safeguarding her and the community. But ultimately, this comes from.
Why is it they're not cutting off the tips of penises?
Why? Because again, it's a double. Like again, as a man, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about other men, because men aren't going to sexually assault me or rape me. But I'm worried about women, because I don't want my women to be going around sleeping around. And you even find this with like the fear of female libido, even amongst non-Muslims, even amongst, like, you could say womanizers or players, have you, like, they are very, like, okay, I'm generalizing, but I'm sure you must know there are some men who they might be philanderers, womanizers, will have you sleep around, but with their own sisters, their own wives, daughters, overprotective, extremely protective. Now, why is this? Because even maybe because the way they are, they think that women are going to be like that, or maybe some of the women that they've been around or associated with, they think all women are like that. And rather than actually speak, if you don't want your wife or girlfriend, well, you can have a girlfriend, but anyway, your girlfriend or your daughter or sister.
No, let's keep it real.
Let's keep it real. No, let's keep it real. If you're worried, no, let's keep it real. Let's have an honest conversation. If you're worried about your wife or girlfriend or sister or daughter being promiscuous, don't try and be very overprotective and like lock her in the cupboard or lock in the bedroom. Try and understand if she's that way inclined. Some women are that way inclined, and again, a woman is she can do what she likes, but not a lot of women are that way inclined. But because some men are, and I recently posted something on Facebook about questioning whether I believe that some men aren't built for monogamy. That some men, if given opportunity, unfortunately, they will step out on their lady. Not to justify this, but some men think that's how all women are like. So they think in order to curb this, we need to lock them up in their homes. We need to ensure they don't speak to anyone at all. We need to practice female FGM, female genital mutilation, and Islamicize this and make it out like it's good for the whole community and things like this. And these are some issues which unfortunately was mentioned in some of the classic Muslim texts, because even some Muslim scholars had this issue. That how can we suppress the female libido, because if not, it's going to run wild. And there are some interpretations which some Muslim scholars made of the story of Prophet Yusuf and Al-Aziz's wife, and she was seen as, in the Islamic tradition, she was seen as like the femme fatale, kind of like seen as equivalent to Jezebel in the Christian tradition. She's seen as the archetype of how all Muslim women is: hypersexual, uncontrollable lust. So because women are like this, and this story was mentioned in the Quran, they were like, how can we prevent women from just sleeping with our servants at the time or friends? And it's just like, we need to trap them, we need to lock them away. And again, this is not Islamic, but this is unfortunately came about from some Muslim men in particular who had an issue who feared female libido, which again, I think we as Muslims, we need to in today's day and age, we need to address this, because this is something which goes on nowadays. But again, most of the people that control this narrative are Muslim men, and they're just going to be talking about their fears and their insecurities, which might be a woman's libido. So therefore, they're not really going to address this.